Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we know what's happening with one Princess cruise ship, but there's still that question out there of what's happening everywhere else. So let's go over some things that people have been asking me. So first off, a little bit of good news for the people on the Princess cruise ship out off the coast of the West Coast near Los Angeles. It looks like they're going to be able to dock the cruise ship in the port of Oakland, and some passengers will be getting off the ship, those that have been, diagnosed. So they will be sequestered and put into their own area and looked after by health officials, and everything will be fine. What's happening with the other people, we don't quite know yet. They don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to test everybody? Normally it's you should kind of do a 3-day test, one after another. If they clear all three, then they're cleared. But we don't know what the situation is right now and how they're handling it. The real disturbing part of all this, out of the 21 people who tested on, who are yes on board, 19 of them were crew members. And so they're the ones, if you ever been on a cruise ship, if you ever did a tour or anything, you can see how cramped quarters and everyone works on top of each other, and they're the ones dealing out things to everybody else, all the passengers and everything. And they still have to do that. You have 2,000 some passengers on board that still need to be fed and still need, clean sheets every once in a while and stuff delivered to them. So you can't just say, okay, crew members stop working, people have to eat. So it becomes a very just, how much of this is going to compound now, and where were those people in relation to, actual passengers and other crew members. And so it's going to be very, very dicey for the next few days. That's what's happening with that ship. We'll see if they're able to get anybody off relatively soon or what's going to happen. But a lot of people are asking me, how come my cruise isn't canceled? How come my thing isn't canceled? And it's a good question, and it's probably because this is changing hourly. It's not changing by month. It's not changing by a week even. It's changing, literally every hour. Something new is popping up. Something different is popping up. And the news media is definitely not helping this. Every time I do cruise search news, cruise ship news, I get the first 50 stories are all on this and nothing else. And there's stories like, man from Michigan gets it from this ship. Man from there spent this many days on this. Lady from this tells us how she felt while she was doing this. It's like individual stories and it makes it look like it's like 1,000 people. But it's not. They're talking about the same 15 people, and it's kind of how overblown that part of it seems to be. Why do we care that one person from one particular area has it? You know what I mean? It's everywhere now, so it doesn't matter, really. So maybe we should focus on the big picture and not on individual stories when it comes to that situation. But for instance, right now, if you're in the Med and you're getting ready for a cruise to, Italy's a big stop in the Mediterranean, and they have closed down schools and they have shut down offices and they are limiting, transportation from public transportation all throughout the country, and especially in the northern part. So you know how many cruise ships sail out of Rome and down the coast of Italy? Many, many stops sometimes. It's a beautiful location to visit, obviously. And what we have now is uncertainty. And the cruise lines are trying to react. They can't just shut down their entire business. They'd go bankrupt, and it'd be the same as you. All of a sudden, you work in an auto plant and they come to you and say, you know what? we're shutting down for 2 months, we're not going to be selling any cars, and you're laid off for 2 months. We can't do that. People still need their jobs. People need to buy food, pay their rent. So the same with the cruise line industries. It's being hit hard right now, especially in the stocks and the markets, but they're trying to react. In fact, they have more security measures out than any other transportation industry anywhere. More than trains, more than buses, more than airports, more than everywhere else. They are doing more security screenings than anywhere else for this. And so, it begs the question. I just did a video yesterday where I announced that a lot of the cruise lines have changed their cancellation policy so you can cruise later. And if you choose to go on cruises now, they're kind of giving you extra incentives to do that and lowering the cost possibly, or onboard credits, or you could just get a future cruise credit and change it and sail up to 2021, the end of 2021. So they're making it a lot easier for passengers. They're trying to react to the situation, but it's changing on an hourly basis. And so sometimes we just have to wait and see what happens. And I know everyone, what's happening with me, what's happening with our cruise, but there's literally any given month, 500,000 passengers on cruise ships. So we kind of have to, think of it that way. And they can't all of a sudden just every single person go from New York to Bermuda with 350 cruise ships. They have to figure out what they can do. And it may change to be just port to ocean to port. Come spend 7 days on our cruise ship and enjoy the entertainment and the food and things like that. It may come to that in some cases because it's an ever-growing situation. So be patient with them. They are reacting. But the world is reacting. So if you think the world is slow at catching up, the cruise lines are way ahead of the world in some cases. So it's not that it's any easier or better than any place else right now. So just keep that in mind, that they are doing what they can right now, and they will be announcing things as things change, but it does take time to react. They can't just say, okay, all of our ships here, 15 of them are now going to go here. That's a lot of work and a lot of cancellations and a lot of people to contact and a lot of ports to contact and get permission and a lot of flights to change. It's a lot of things. And so they don't just do it willy-nilly. They have to think about it and concentrate and arrange things before they announce. So if you're wondering if your cruise is coming up or canceled or what, the only news you can possibly get is please be patient. As an agent, I've been trying to reach the cruise lines a lot lately, and it's not unusual to be on hold for 3 to 4 hours every time I have to call a cruise line right now. It's not unusual at all. So that should give you some idea of the influx of calls and what the cruise lines are dealing with. And I'm talking all cruise lines, not just one or two. Everyone I'm trying to contact now, I'm getting that message, and I'm on hold and I'm listening to that music that they play. So let's hope the Princess cruise ship gets off in Oakland and everybody gets tested and everybody's good. And then we can deal with every place else and find out, hopefully, this starts winding down. The good news is we're coming into the spring and summer, and hopefully it's not going to stop anything from getting around, but what it will do is it'll stop the people who are showing like flu-like symptoms and colds because it's winter and people are getting that. So it'll be a lot easier that way to focus on people who are sneezing and coughing and figuring things out. So it'll narrow down the amount of people who are false positives. So that hopefully will at least enable us to get some grip on the situation, because every day you're looking in the news and in the media and you're hearing a news story and a different thing, and this is happening and guys are doing this, and New York is declaring this now and California has declared this now, and they're saying that crew members who were on this ship and this ship have been gone to other ships, and now they're being under investigation, and they're watching out for them, and they're got to be tested. And it just, every day we're being inundated with all this update and all this news. And if you think we're overwhelmed by it, can you imagine the cruise lines and what they're dealing with right now? Trying to salvage the best they can bad situations. And a lot of them are really, really trying to do the best thing they possibly can for all their clients out there. Offering a 100% future cruise credit, and people are going, well, why aren't they offering, just give me my money back? And you got to think about that. If your final payment, we're talking final payments here. So if your final payment has gone by and you've already paid for your cruise, unless the cruise is actually canceled, it's still a contract, but they're still giving you a chance to change everything and change your flight, your cruise to a full, almost 2 years away, and there are no penalties or any fees for that. But they just can't start just giving everybody back their money back for people who have paid, because that money's been paid and it's possibly spent already. So they are doing what they can in this situation. And I feel for the cruise industry. I'd hate to be in one of those boardrooms right now trying to make decisions. Can you imagine what's going on? Can you imagine what's going on at Walt Disney World and places like that? Can you imagine what's going on in sports stadiums with the upcoming events, and what are we going to do? Baseball just getting ready to get started. What are they going to do? It's a mess, and the cruise industry is no different than everywhere else. Well, I hope you appreciate this update. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.